Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. This is E.R. Wolf, one of the co-founders at Elify, and this is Friday with the Founders. So myself and my partner, Guy Toole, co-founders here at Elify, want to get on with you and talk all things Elify. So this is part of the fun of our Fridays, one of my favorite calls every week, and we hope you're going to get a lot out of this as well. One thing I want to do is this is an opportunity for all of us to network and collect information from each other. So if you're joining us live on the Zoom, go on ahead and use the chat to post in your digital business card. Feel free to network with each other. Let us know where you're calling in from. Also, if you find a great card that's been shared with you, take it or use it as an opportunity to clone that card and use it for yourself. We always want to be focused on building something worth sharing. So, Guy, I'm going to throw it over to you because I usually just go off on a big riff at the beginning of Friday with the Founders. We're going to sort of change things up a little bit, and I'll let you kick it off.
Let's do it. And thank you for everybody joining us today. We know that it says a lot that you take an hour out of your days, hopefully 4 days a week, to be able to jump on with us. But I think what we want to expand upon and really start leaning into, especially with our community, is being able to educate in bite-sized pieces. And we talked about it yesterday. If you were able to join ER's mastermind, which I'm going to be taking quite a few of those over the summer, because ER gets to do what he wants, when he wants, where he wants, and gets to take care of the kids on Thursdays. So I'll be able to have conversations with each and every one of you. But we had the concept yesterday of microlearning, and microlearning is a hot topic right now. It's one of those that it's able to happen, and it's able to be the hot topic because of technology and where it is today, and the workforce that really evolved over these last couple of years and what that looks like, and understanding that the job force is probably going to be a little bit different than how we knew it in the past. People are really looking for lifestyle, have a life, live the lifestyle that you would want. It doesn't mean, from a area where I understand real estate just based on having to, because my wife is, these individuals in their 20s and 30s aren't looking for the large homes anymore. They're looking for something where maybe they can purchase multiple, to be able to have residual income if they have tenants and rent those out, and doing different things like that, or being able to, we have multiple neighbors that have purchased new mobile homes to be able to travel throughout the summer and work where they want. And their jobs have allowed them to do that because it sort of forced them to allow people to do that. But so many people are looking for multiple streams of income, right? We want to talk passive income. That's one of the biggest things that also is a hot topic that people are looking for, because the old way of reaching retirement for a lot of people isn't going to come to fruition. So finding a way to potentially earn additional stream of income that might take over what you would need out of retirement and make that something that's passive. So people are just looking for micro education, micro learning, where you don't have to learn the whole thing and know the ins and outs of it. If I learn 10, 15, 20% of it, I've learned enough to be dangerous. And we know here throughout our application, we really are a micro technology, because we're taking small elements and bringing them together in one central application, community where people can collaborate along with it. ER, you say it best on what we have. We have essentially 4 or 5 technologies brought together in one platform. We have a digital business card, a landing page, a QR builder, a tap card. Right there's multiple things that you can go off and purchase individually. And maybe there's some businesses out there that do larger platforms specifically to, say, a landing page. Well, that landing page builder that you might have to purchase elsewhere could be hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars that you would need to pay for. And you'd probably have to go to some education or go through some type of education. We talked about it yesterday, Jeff, being able to be certified to be able to understand maybe a funneling system or something of that sort. So saying, hey, here we have this fairly robust but very simple solution that if you take it by bite-sized pieces and the education of it, you can advance whatever you want to do with this platform forward. You can advance your business, your life, whatever that looks like. There's this platform here. So we're really going to start leaning in and focusing in on those trainings, those micro educational pieces where we're going to talk one thing and we hope to stay out of getting caught and going down a different path during those trainings, because we know that happens here because we get excited about something new or something that you can also do. But if we're going to focus on one element, we're going to make sure that that training is simple, precise, to the point, and is easily consumable, can be followed through by each and every one of you, and then can be reshared or followed through by anyone that is also looking for those types of information throughout this application. So just wanted to point that out, and we can get into the micro education, because I asked people yesterday, take an opportunity to educate yourself on maybe those 4 different types of things within our application. Understand a digital business card and what that means. Understand a physical business card so you can do your compare and contrast when having conversations with people on why digital is potentially better. Educate yourself on landing pages, educate yourself on QR codes. I mean, QR codes I always dive in whenever I have got a few minutes of time to do education, and QR codes really have been around for about 30 years now. And we talk about having it in our application for 10 years. And a lot of people not even knowing what they are or how to utilize them for the last 2 years. And here we are saying, hey, this is one of the most seamless forms of interaction that someone can have. Sharing information, sending videos. You can even encrypt some of these things from the aspect of whatever you're sharing through this can be encrypted. I know we've had questions before on HIPAA and SOC2. If we're compliant with those, well, HIPAA, we're not going to go through that route. But if you've got a third-party provider that you're utilizing, say you're a CPA and you need to provide documentation that's got to be confidential. If you're using another application and provides some type of link, that can be put into our application. So, but back to the QR code aspect is how powerful this is. And QRs and the new NFC is something that we're seeing the term gig economy and mobile commerce, m-commerce, the seamless form of doing business. They're expecting by 2025 sales just through mobile commerce to be at about $730 billion a year. And there's opportunity there because we provide probably one of the only applications that I know of that has multiple technologies that can be utilized in mobile commerce, m-commerce, QRs, taps, digital cards, digital landing page, campaigns, lead captures, those different types of things that people are looking for to differentiate themselves. And having this platform where I can take my brand of my product, services, and opportunities, as well as myself, and be able to market those in the most seamless form is something that we're excited about, to be able to partner with every one of you to be able to shout this from the mountaintops and say, hey, here it is. It's coming. If it isn't already here. And it's one of those that we hope everyone gets on the wagon early, because this wagon's going to continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Guy. And before I get too deep into the conversation here, I want to invite anybody on here who has a tip, a trick, a question, a testimonial about how they're leveraging the technology and wants to share it with the community to raise their hand. Ruben, I see your hand up and we'll get to you in 1 second. There is a reactions bar on the Zoom. You can click on that and raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you just have a question or a comment and you don't want to come on live, you can throw that in the chat. I think it's pretty crucial. And I just want to reiterate a few things, Guy, that you were talking about that I think is really important. First and foremost, Elify is a community, and we love having you guys on as part of this community. Secondarily, Elify is about creating tools for entrepreneurs and business owners. So we understand, and what Guy was talking about is that there's an emerging economy, m-commerce, e-commerce, and a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, especially small business owners, haven't broken into that space or aren't able to leverage that space. So part of it is creating solutions that help you leverage that and get into that space. And I think that's really what it boils down to. For the last decade, Guy, you and I have been looking at different technologies that we can scale down, simplify, and make accessible to the average everyday user for a nominal fee. And then, Guy, to your point, microlearning is so important. And I just want to tell a brief story before we shift over to Ruben on how important microlearning can be, because you don't have to learn everything to make forward progress. I really want to repeat that. You don't have to learn everything to start making forward progress. You need to learn enough to start implementing. And that's really what we want to start focusing on moving forward with Elify, the trainings and things like that, is that getting started training to get you off and running on implementing any element or aspect of the technology. To Guy's point, whether that's a landing page, and maybe it's a landing page just to highlight yourself, introduce yourself. Maybe it's a landing page about your products or services. Maybe it's a landing page that best answers questions for your customers or supports onboarding new people or highlights an author or a book that's being published. I mean, there's so many different ways to use landing pages. But the key with Elify is making landing pages and the building of landing pages accessible to everybody. The same thing with QR codes. I see so many different uses of QR codes, but if you don't know how to use a QR code, you're not going to be able to create things like what Guy and I have in our floating background or what we see from other people who are sharing using QR codes, both online and offline. The same thing with NFC. We see this as the fastest way to share information. And that's really what we're looking for, is these efficiencies, leveraging technology that we can implement in our businesses that are going to take us forward in that prospect. And the story I wanted to share actually goes back, Guy, to the first time I leveraged micro-learning in my life. And it was actually in high school. And I had stopped playing basketball, which was my main sport. I had stopped swimming, which was another one of my main sports. And my parents turned to me and said, "ER, you're not going to go to college unless you get a scholarship. We do not have money to pay for you to go to college." And I thought to myself, okay, I guess I better figure out a way to get a scholarship. And at that time, I was approached by the football coach. And I will tell you what, I am not a football player, if you will. And at that time, I had no clue, didn't know the rules of the game, didn't know how many people were on the field, didn't know anything about the sport of football. But I told the coach, and I'm a coachable person. I think that's one of the things that we all need to be if we want to be successful, is to be coachable and willing to learn and to change and to implement. And I told the coach, I said, okay, if you tell me where you want me to play, what position you want me to play, and what I need to do in that position, and I don't need to know anything else, I will do it, coach. And so that's how it started. And I took this micro-learning approach to learn my position, to learn the skill set that was required, and to execute on that position to the best of my ability. And I continued to do that. And in 3 years of playing high school football, I was a Division I recruit, got a scholarship to play Division I football. And it was all based on a willingness to just micro-learn each step and implement that step. I didn't need to know what the quarterback was thinking per se. I didn't need to know what the wide receiver was going to do, or what, I needed to know what I was going to do and what I was supposed to expect from my opponent. And as I progressed through, I added more and more knowledge until I had a robust knowledge of that game. This is no different here in the game of life or the game of business or the game of anything else that you're doing. If you're willing to sit and say, here's what my objective is and here's where I'm at, and I'm willing to take the incremental steps to get there, you will make forward progress and you will see success in that. So I just wanted to share that quick little story Now, Ruben, we'll jump over to you. Thank you for joining the call Friday with the Founders. Go ahead, my friend.
Thank you, Yara. Thank you, Guy. As you know, I just want to share two wins. As you know, every Friday I have a live meeting that I go to. It's a large group. I invited two couples to go there, and they were sitting next to me strategically, and all of a sudden they informed me that they're going to be flying out to Baltimore for a big event. Well, I created a promo card for her. Her husband didn't know about it. I introduced myself to him. I used the tap card on his phone. He goes, "Wow, what's this?" To give him the wow factor. But the bottom line is, when I was sitting with her, she said, "Ruben, that promo card that you designed for me, there you put two buttons in there. That one button there, we want it to be our website, and that picture of my husband is terrible." So I say, so immediately she sent me two pieces of data, and I had to write it down. And we made an introduction around the table. And by the time it was done, guys, I had it all together, handed it off to them, and they go, "Wow." That's what I call micro learning. And I mean, I feel great about it. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. So I went one step further. I have my tap card, a tap card that I have. I handed him the tap card. And I said, "Listen, you're going to be flying out to Baltimore. Give me a good phone number here. Between now and then, I got to learn how to activate that tap card. So when you go to the event, you can go ahead and tap." So right now I have a promo card for them.
Perfect.
The actual tap card has a QR code. And when I looked at it, it opens up an application, apparently. So they can go ahead and sign up in that vehicle. That, at least that's to my understanding. So at least now he'll be able to sign up remotely so we can get this thing done. But that was just incredible. It just happened within a period of maybe about 20 minutes in the meeting.
I love that. I love that, Ruben, and thanks for sharing. And I think it's a testament of how simple we can make things and how accessible we can make things. Now, Ruben, you don't have a PhD in computer science, do you? You don't program for computers. I know you have a background in art and painting and stuff, so you do have that creative side. And I really think that that's what it's all about. It's about making these tools accessible to the masses. As Guy said, the world is going to change all around us. We're already seeing the aspects of that before our eyes. If you didn't see what happened during the last 2 years, right? The great resignation, people shifting around. Guy, you mentioned it. I heard this a few years ago, right? 50% of the jobs that exist right now are not going to exist in the next 10 years. Can you imagine then what's going to take its place? And Guy, we've been talking with some groups. We talked about micro-learning. We've also talked about micro-influencers and even nano-influencers, people who are out there who have a sphere of influence. And here's the reality. You are an influencer. You may not realize it right now, but you are. And you have the potential to be any level or have any level of influence over your audience that you want to seek. But you need to be able to leverage that influence so you can capitalize and, in essence, do what a lot of other influencers are doing, monetize your influence. And I think Shuffle and Elify offers great paths to help you do that. And it can help you do that with whatever you're promoting and doing right now. Right? It can allow you to do it for promoting Elify and promoting Shuffle and promoting Tap. It can help you if you're interested in really broadcasting and spreading your wings, becoming an affiliate for really any type of affiliate program out there and building that marketing content within Shuffle and getting it out there. So when we talk about, Guy, the sort of gig economy and these micro influencers, this is what we're expecting to see. 10 years from now, and that's really where Guy and I sit. We sit in this sort of futurist perspective of what is the world going to be like and how can we create solutions and tools that will best support individuals who are operating and segueing into that world, whether they're in traditional brick and mortar business, but it's changing a little bit, or whether they're trying to get into business as an entrepreneur. And I think it's really about saying, look, you have this access and you can do it. I've heard it said before, the existing path, this is another path, an alternative. It may not be perfect, but it's better than what exists out there. And we're really just on a mission to help show and support that. And so, Guy, one of the things that I know we've worked a lot on and why we hold these calls and why we're passionate about the community here is it's not just about providing business tools for entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Yes, that's what the Elify suite of offerings does, right? Business tools for entrepreneurs and businesses. It's also about creating a community and an opportunity for people to be entrepreneurs and business owners and really elevate where they're at with that. So, Guy, with that being said, I don't know if you have anything to add or if anybody else has anything to add. We're happy to go through and have an open conversation about all things Elify, everybody.
You know, there were a few things that we had an opportunity. Ruben, you had talked about it actually yesterday with the art galleries and the QR codes. And I actually took that and did some research. And there is one of the largest contemporary museums in the world. It's in Russia, but they actually only use QR codes. Like that is what they're moving towards. You can't go into the museum and look at art. You have to take your phone with you to scan the QR code to see the art piece. So that's pretty crazy to say, you know, these are the futuristic type things. I'd seen a video and I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently this last week, somebody got in and threw ice cream at the Mona Lisa. And apparently there was, you know, there's a covered piece of glass over it. So they got that taken care of. But, you know, is that going to make that museum go, hey, we're going to turn this into QR code only? And that's the only way you're ever going to get to see this art moving forward, which that might be the case. That might be the way that some artists want to display their art because they don't want to have it damaged. They don't want the possibility of letting it sit there and somebody lean up against it or touch it or do something of that sort. And the only way you can purchase it could be then through using a QR code. So there's so much that's happening. And to ER's point that we're constantly researching and understanding what's coming, what's something new. You know, QR codes for a lot of people are new. QR codes, again, have been around for about 30 years. NFC is something that's new for a lot of people. NFC's been around for about a decade. It's just technology has now advanced to a point where these elements can be utilized by just us everyday Joes, or us normal people. And that's what we wanted to be able to do is provide this to everyone, to make it consumable, to make it effective, make it cost effective, that cost isn't an issue when looking at how can I participate in this gig economy, this the technology movement of how business is going to be performed today and into the future.
Well, I think traditionally price has always been a barrier for small businesses and entrepreneurs to implement technologies that big businesses use. I mean, when we think about it, typically the businesses and corporations who are creating new or cutting edge technologies are investing millions, tens of millions, or hundreds of millions of dollars. I read an article not too long back in 2022 that Apple has literally invested billions of dollars into NFC technology and supporting NFC technology on Apple devices in the iOS system because it's one of the big things that they're leveraging for Apple Pay and other ways to transmit data. And I think that's really what it boils down to. It's about accessibility. And we've always been in the position that if we have lots and lots of users, we can distribute that cost over everybody. So we can invest, you know, Guy, you and I and Elify as an organization can invest millions of dollars in the development of technology. And that's what we've done to date, and yet still create an affordable solution for anybody who sees leveraging it as a benefit to their business. The other thing is, I think now more than ever, and it's going to continue to go in this direction. If anybody thinks it's not, please let me know. I'd love to discuss it with you. But I think now more than ever, we're in a more connected and interactive environment. And it's going to continue to become that way. And if you see the writing on the wall that things are becoming more connected and more interactive, and you're not participating in that space, then there's an opportunity cost that's being lost, especially if it's tied to your business. And here's the reality. We're more connected and it becomes pros and cons. You've got noise coming in at your audience from every direction. The average person is spending like 4.5 hours a day glued to their mobile device, most likely on social media or looking at cat videos or what their friends had for lunch. I mean, it's literally in your face all of the time. That's a lot of noise. But with that also comes an opportunity to cut through that noise and really engage and interact with your audience. I think the other element is that interactive nature. When we talk about traditional forms of marketing out there, we lean in, Guy, you've talked about the stats before about business cards versus digital business cards. At the end of the day, the reality is a physical business card is not interactive. A digital business card is interactive. And the measurable difference between non-interaction and interaction is drastic. I would argue that it's upwards of a 10x in its impact on how people who are interacting with a landing page or with a digital business card are compared to some type of physical marketing asset like a brochure or a business card. So this is really some of the stuff that Guy and I are constantly thinking about in what we're working on as we bring tools and solutions through Elify out to everybody else. Now, Anna, you've got your hand up, so go ahead, my friend. Thanks for joining the conversation. And thanks for inviting your guest. A big shout out to Anna for bringing a guest, and I look forward to connecting on all of that. Thank you, Anna. Susie, good to have you on. Take care.
Okay. Thank you so much, ER. You guys are so amazing, and you add to this every single week. I can almost keep up. I just wanted to go over branding.
Yep.
If you're with a company and you have, a client base and you don't have staff per se, but your clients act as independent contractors for their service, that kind of thing. What is the best process for getting that started? What are the steps that we need to give to our potential prospect?
Yeah, I think you've got two paths really, Anna. When I think about it, you've got either a path where you're supporting them and you're doing it on your end and then transferring that to them. And sometimes that's the easiest way to start out. But what it's going to require is you to gather assets and content from them. So that branding, and I always recommend things that are higher resolution. So that way you have the opportunity to modify or adjust it. But that's really the starting point is what is your brand? Can you provide me with the assets to that brand, the imagery, the logos, the videos, whatever you need to be on your landing page? Alternatively, it's about providing them with the tool and some micro education like Guy's talking about to show them how easy it is for them to plug in those assets if they're not going to leverage you to do that. In addition to that, I do want to recommend to anybody who might be supporting people, you're creating value and you have now a skill set that creates value. You could charge for that. And we have people who do charge for that. They will help and support their customers with building out cards and landing pages to save them that effort almost as a done for you versus DIY. But they do charge a fee for that. So be aware of that. Again, I'm going to leave it entirely up to any user out there on how they want to leverage the platform. But at the end of the day, anytime you're building a landing page, it starts out with the concept of what is this page going to be used for? What are the elements of that page and how is the viewer going to interact with it? And then what are the assets that I need to plug in to every element that's going to be on that page? Once you collect those things, it's a matter of spinning up a template and plugging those assets in, and then just going back and forth through iterations as you optimize the look and the feel of it. I hope that helps, Anna.
It does to some extent. My follow-up question to that is, so you create your branded template, you've got your mandatory links, the things that are required, yep. And you're offering this to your clients. Of course, you're not doing it under the free program.
Yep.
They still have the option of creating different cards because they get the 10 card program at least, right?
Correct.
For the $10 or whatever dollar amount it is at the time. So many dollars per month. So they have the option of just taking the branded card and just using that. or they can opt to upgrade and get the additional, or are they automatically upgraded because of the template card?
Yep, they're automatically there. Like every account that's coming in is going to have 10 cards in what we would call their stack or their deck, right? So everybody has 10 cards. So assuming you helped or provided them a template to build that first card, it's still going to leave 9 additional card or landing page spots available for them to create multiple cards, maybe using that same template, or create different cards using different templates that they might build.
So for their own events and their own funnels.
Exactly.
Kind of okay.
And we always really do lean in, and you've heard Kathy say this multiple times. It's all about putting the right information in front of the right person at the right time. Why is that so important? Guys, we're looking at conversion rates. We're looking at click-through rates. We're looking at, if we want to lower the friction for the people who are viewing our content, we want them to take a path that we've sort of curated for them. I know, Jeff, you mentioned in the chat, like the funnel, that's the idea behind a funnel, right? I'm going to put people in the top of a funnel, and that funnel could be a single page funnel that they scroll through, and it takes them through a series of items or elements on that page that allow that person to make an informed decision. And at the end of the day, they're going to do one of a few things. They're going to bounce off that page if you're not providing what they're looking for. They're going to click on calls to action, or they're going to continue to scroll until a call to action piques their interest because the content on that funnel has informed them enough, answered their questions, covered their objections, all of those types of things. So it really just depends on the use. And that's why we say here are multiple card slots. And there's even the ability to add more than that 10, Anna, as you know. So that if you're really out there, I mean, we have users who have hundreds, and I'm pluralizing that, hundreds of cards in their stack because they're using them in different ways. Promotions to different areas, offline use versus online use, different offerings or different content within the same layouts, etc.
Yeah, I was going to, when the reason I brought up the funnel thing was not just because I'm a funnel freak, but because somebody asked. And so I go back up through the chat. So a couple people that we're trying to help here. I think, Dan, I don't know if you're still on the call. I opened your card to see if you're getting notified or dinged. And as we all know, it's sometimes easy to hit just the untrackable link and send that. And you're like, hey, nobody's opening my card. So I don't know. But for everybody on the call, if you're a beginner or whatever, there's that extra step that you need to do when you're doing a one-to-one card share. You will know if Bill or Judy or whoever you sent your card to. But if you're just grabbing that untrackable link and you're sending that out, you will not get notified. And if you don't want to get notified, well, then send that link. It still opens up. So that was one thing. And the funnel question, I think a lot of people, they generalize the term funnel. And I don't want to get into a big, long spiel here, but there are very specific starting, if you want to call it a landing page or whatever, if you use your Elify card, what do you want to accomplish? Do you want Jeff to watch a video? Okay, that's one kind of a funnel. Then, or do you want me to watch? Do you want me to plug into some sort of a webinar, funnel? Do you want to just create leads, with a simple, hey, find out 3 great ways to make money online in under 10 minutes? Boom, put your email. I mean, that is a lead generating, list building type of funnel, okay, a very simple lead generator. Then you have your sales where you actually are trying to sell something. And it all depends, you guys. If you're trying to sell a $7 ballpoint pen, you're going to have maybe a short VSL, okay? And I'm getting into, if you're going to sell, I have a less than $50 subscription platform we're going to be offering. That's going to take probably 20 to 30 minutes. I need to do a VSL. I may not do a full webinar. If you're trying to sell, like I just was on a webinar, almost 2 hours, I didn't watch it all, but the package was a multi-$1,000 package. And so that requires a 90-minute, well, most of us aren't going to probably do full-blown webinars and that type of thing if you're doing a big ticket, but you just have to really know who is your target audience and what are you selling? I mean, again, if you're selling a $7 pen, don't waste your time doing a big long presentation and waste people's time. You want to be as efficient as possible. And so when people are building their cards, make sure you understand what that face card is. And again, Dan, this is not a criticism, but I know a lot of you are using your card like a link tree. And that's fine. If you have multiple things, hey, you want to schedule an appointment with me or whatever. If you want that, what I call it would be your personalized business card, but that should just be one card. If I look at a card like that and I see a bunch of buttons, bye-bye. I am not, because I don't know what to push, and I'm not going to sit and push 5, 6, 7 buttons that all have nothing to do with each other. Okay. This is not a criticism, you guys. That's why Elify is one of my favorite tools, is because you've got the 10, the 50 or 100 cards. If you have a card that is nothing more than having a consultation call with you, that's one freaking card. Don't add that into a card and then go look at my network marketing deal and go look at this and go look at that. Again, I'm not being critical, you guys, but I see some cards and it just makes me I need a haircut. I'm about ready to give myself a haircut. You've got this tool, but you're not optimizing it. And that's what Guy and ER are trying to help us all understand, is optimize each and every card that you have. And if you only have 10, if upgrade to 100, because you need to have a card. I'm investing right now in 40 high-level courses, micro courses that you guys are talking about. I'm going to build my own landing page with what? Elify. I'm going to have one Elify simple page. Having trouble getting to sleep or whatever sleep, that's going to lead to a course on how to have better sleep. Another card for how to make money on, you know what I mean? And so the point is that Elify is the starting point. I always call it the spark. And then it doesn't matter if you don't know how to build a funnel or build courses or all that I'm into, that's okay. Use your Elify card as a single page, but make another card. If you want to sell a protein shake, just sell the protein shake with that one card. You guys don't put a million buttons to a million different products that are going to make people go nuts. And that's the end of my spiel for the day. But that's what gets me going, is that be specific to each audience with each card.
Well, and I think, Jeff, this is part of why we want to have a community. It's about creating an environment where we can discuss best practices, because this is really what we're talking about. When I come back and say the right information to the right person at the right time, Jeff's clarifying on that, right? I want to, if I'm selling, if I'm promoting, marketing, or selling a sleep program, I'm not going to put a weight loss program on that card to accompany it, because it's just going to create confusion. And you guys can write this down. A confused mind always says what? It says no. So we want to be very clear. We want to be very focused on what we're putting on each of our cards. And to Jeff's point, if you run out of cards, you add more cards. But be very pointed on what you're promoting and make sure the cards that you're building support that path or that flow. Additionally, if you're new to all of this and you've built a card and it has not been optimized, which is what we're talking about, right? Leveraging those best practices. The benefit of the technology is you can iterate on that card, go back and edit it, make adjustments, clone it, make a new one, split test 2 cards to dial it in over time so that it's performing for you. Jeff, to your point, it's interesting when people reach out and they're like, my card is not performing. And then to your point, you look at their card and you can see how the recipient of that card could be confused or get lost or not know where to click. You have to curate a journey that you're taking your viewer on. And when you build your cards, you have to sort of put your mind in the mind frame of that recipient, of that viewer. If it comes across salesy, they're not going to take action on it. If it comes across authentic, real, and you give them a nice path to follow, you'll watch as they follow that path. And then think about those uses. Again, a lot of people use Shuffle just to introduce themselves. Great. But then just introduce yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to necessarily say, and here's everything I do, and there's a list of 45 things on there. You introduce yourself, and when somebody's engaged with that, you start the relationship. You find out and identify what things are of interest to that new relationship.
Yeah.
And then you send them individual cards that support those things if those are things
Right.
that you offer.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
it breaks it up into multiple steps, everybody, but in today's environment, it's all about personalization and it's all about supporting the relationship and the individual. And when you do that, and here's the reality, when I think about sort of the sales and marketing process and conversion, everybody, I know a majority of people want one catch-all easy button, right? Wouldn't that be the dream? Just one card that does it all and it converts. The reality is that's not the case. So if you're still trying to reinvent the wheel, good luck. You know, on the converse of that, there are plenty of people out in the internet who have identified flows and paths and best practices that we can all be applying. And Shuffle is just the platform to apply those best practices on. So as we engage with each other and talk, you know, that's what we want to teach from a micro-learning perspective.
There are a few things, because I totally agree from the aspect of the introduction. I would best practices. I would take my introduction card and not say, these are all my opportunities or these are all my products and services. To that point, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm probably not going to look at it. I'm not going to take the time to click on every link, but there are opportunities for that introduction card. And how the Linktree-esque element works within Shuffle is the way for people to get your social handles. I could see that as a way that it could still be utilized. And you would put in your about section, why all these links are in here. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, that's where we would utilize those a little bit more to have those types of looks and feel on the card, but don't have all your social platforms and then all your links below there and say, well, this is going to be my catch-all, and my catch-all is going to actually repel all.
Yeah. And guide to that point. Again, I'm not being, but this is just stuff I've learned because I've done it, and it makes me like really embarrassed because I look back at some of the cards that I've built or some of the copy that I've written, and I think, oh my gosh, I am making this all about me. Oh, I've done this and I've done this and my background is this. And it's just like, the more you talk about yourself, even though you're presenting yourself, there are two ways to do it. One is it just seems like it's a boast page, and every top online marketer will tell you, you know, you need to have that credibility piece, but you do it in a very humble way. And a lot of times when I do it, it's like, you know, hey, blah, blah, I learned that, whatever, that copy is a critical piece to your marketing, and it's the key to success and financial freedom forever. It is the number one thing. How did I learn that? It's a very painful lesson, not because Jeff Ige thinks he's a great copywriter. I did it because I have grinded and felt the pain and written so much crap. And now I'm going to where they are, right? Are you struggling with your copy? Do you sit at the cursor and look at it blinking at you? Now they're like, hey, Jeff is where I am now, or was where I am now. What did he discover? And so then I say, I am so glad I was on a call with ER and Guy, and they talked about copy one day. And so I opened my mind to whatever that epiphany is, or that discovery. And so I'm just sharing them like, hey, you know, I had back pain until I discovered, you know, drinking filtered water is the whatever that discovery is. But I see so many cards, and bless you guys, we all have great talent, backgrounds, gifts, but you know what? Guy and ER, they don't want to hear my background. They don't want to read my resume. They want to know, hey, can Jeff or Ruben or Anna or anybody, what do you guys offer that will help me get the result that I want? I look in the chat and it's like, they don't care where I'm from, what I've done or what I've taught or blah, blah, blah. And what you guys got to do is humble yourself, right? Humble yourself in the eyes of the Lord, and you will be lifted up. So humble yourself with your copy. Let people know how life is brutal, how business can be brutal, how writing, whatever you're trying to do, lose weight, whatever. It is a massively difficult thing. How do I know this? That's a great line. How do I know this? Because I've lived it. If you can write that copy in whatever you're doing, how do I know that carrying 10 extra pounds of weight is because I lived it? I struggled. I got back pain. My knees hurt because of it. And I couldn't fit my clothes and I felt bad, looked in the mirror. Then I'm relating to you instead of saying, hey, I've got a master's in exercise science and blah, blah, blah. And I know all this stuff and you got to listen to me because, and I'm seeing so much copy, you guys, that just check it and see how many times do you say I or me versus how many times do you say you, or
right.
how you can help them and how you can relate to what they're going through. If you do that, the money will flow to the degree that you cannot believe it. But if you continue to boast continually about all of your accolades in your Elify cards and in your copy, you're going to struggle. And again, I'm on my high horse, but I've lived it, and it sucks. And I've done this for 5 or 6 years. I've got pages and pages of copy that I've just meticulously written, and I've made every mistake in the book. And so I'm sharing this with you because I know I don't want you to suffer through 5 or 6 years of learning how to write copy or make funnels or make a good digital business card.
Well, I love this. And this really does happen within this community, right? Is there's physical evidence here from Jeff on what he's experienced and gone through. And it's a lot of what we lean into, and we have internal discussions on, usage of Elify and being a part of the Elify community. And what that looks like is people are looking for authentic relationships. People are looking for people who they can relate to. We talk about the influencers, micro influencers, nano influencers, and to the Linktree-esque, those would be the influencers that are like, look at me, the ones that you really don't relate to. There's so many influencers out there that have millions and millions of followers. Well, they don't really have influence on me. They might have an influence on someone else. And I think that's why our community, it is the micro or nano influencers that actually have more influence than they know. Because when you bring them all together, 95% of the market are micro and nano influencers. They're the ones that are moving the dial. They're the ones that are giving the education and giving information on how to be able to do this. And so to that extent on how Elify provides it, Elify provides the platform to anyone, right? You can be an influencer and have it that way. It might not speak to us. It might not speak to everyone who joins every live training, but that's how they go out and do it. But it's why we love to come together and collaborate and say, hey, this is my 2 cents. Take it for what it is. But I'm the exact same way, Jeff. I feel that in order to build a lasting relationship, it's got to be authentic as possible. It's got to be about what can I do from my servant mentality to give? How can I help? That's all we're here for. So I know we've got a couple hands up. Cindy Lee, you were first up. You go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away or give example.
So happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Happy Pay It Forward Friday. And ER was on my show a few weeks ago. And there's one thing I want to touch on. So we could talk about ourselves all day long, right? Yeah, because most of us have that narcissistic type of tendency. But what's really cool with Elify Shuffle is ask your clients, those you do business with, those that you network with, and have them do a video testimony of 30 seconds. And that way you can repurpose that to Google. You can repurpose it on your card. So when people go on my card, the first thing they see is my chiropractor talking about the gift he received after, I was only a client for like 2 days. Because if your prospects see other people talking about you, that's where the value is going to lie. So just wanted to add that to what Jeff was already saying, because that's super, super important and crucial.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Cindy Lee. And to that, there are tons of elements that we can add to the content we share with other people that will allow them to make an informed decision, that will allow them to understand that we can help them to build a know, like, trust relationship and to answer any objections that they might have in order to make that informed decision. So these are going to be things that I think we can talk about in the trainings ahead, and we can focus on those little micro learning elements so that collectively as a community, we can progress and evolve or optimize the content that we're sharing out to the people we're sharing it with. Anna, go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, it's the first time I've heard one topic, one card in all the months that I've been coming here. I'm a multipreneur, and I'm sure a lot of folks here are, and I've created cards, multi-hub links that say these are the things that I, do or I'm participating with. So I'm really thankful for that, because I need to create more cards then. And a speaker bio card would be a nice thing to have, but I never thought to put all my stuff on there. Who I am, what I do, what my background. You have to ask for that stuff, because it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jeff, for the video sales letter option. I think that's absolutely awesome. I didn't know what a VSL was, but I do now. I'm looking for the best platform to do videos and podcasts. So I'm throwing that out there.
Great. Well, again, if anybody in the community has other tools that they're using, one of the big things that I look at, there's a lot of other great tools out there, and they don't have to be massively expensive. Additionally, if you have a team and that team is out there trying to replicate everything that you're doing, and I know there are a lot of people out there who use our technology that work with teams and they're trying to drive replication. Always be aware that not every team member has the same success or resources available to them. So you want to make it the barrier to entry as low as possible for everybody to leverage. That's one of the missions on why we price the way we do. And lastly, as sort of a segue as we wrap up Friday with the founders here, I really want to talk about something that's come up in between the lines of this conversation. And that really is that there's a massive amount of people that are looking to do exactly what we're doing. They're looking to leverage things like landing pages. They're looking to leverage things like QR codes or NFC technology or relationship management to optimize their business and to produce results for them. In fact, now more than ever, that base of potential users is expanding before our eyes. And we really rely on our existing user base, your testimonials in a way, to get out there and share how you're using and benefiting from Shuffle and from Tap with the next potential user. And that exposure helps us grow our subscribership to Elify Solutions and grow this community. And this is one of the reasons why Guy and I created an affiliate program. Okay, I truly believe why we build tools, business tools for entrepreneurs as Elify is the same reason why we want to give a path for people to be entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I've built businesses from scratch. I've joined affiliate programs and promoted other people's products. And what I found over the course of all of this is I truly believe affiliate marketing is one of the easiest segues into entrepreneurship and business ownership. It's a very low cost entry point. In our case, it's essentially free to become an affiliate. And all you end up doing is you promote the company's products or services. In this case, you're promoting Elify, you're promoting Shuffle, you're promoting Tap, you're promoting the community. And when people come in through your link, you get paid. So you essentially get paid to get out there and share. And so I want to close in doing what we do typically every week. We're going to go through a quick overview of the affiliate program. And we're just going to talk about that because one of my passions, and this has been mentioned here, is I truly believe that the quickest path to success is to have a business that produces a residual income for you equal to the amount that you would need in retirement. And if you could do that or accomplish that in a shorter duration than the typical retirement path, right? Work a job for 40 years, and after you invest a portion of every paycheck to a portfolio, you might be able to draw down that 4% rule and retire at 65, 70, 75, whatever they're saying nowadays. The reality is, if you can create a business that produces you the same amount of cash flow and profit to support that same lifestyle, you could essentially retire early. So what we're talking about is creating a path that anybody can leverage, and the results will be 100% up to what they produce. So you join as an affiliate, you go out, you promote Elify, you promote Shuffle, you promote Tap, you can promote the affiliate program, you can promote the community. Once people enroll through your link, you start earning. I know we mentioned it last Friday. Greg cashed out his first check. Woo, woo, woo. If you've never made money online, I'm telling you, affiliate marketing is the easiest way to start generating an online income and tapping into that gig economy. So what do we pay out? We pay out 10% residually on all direct referrals. We think one of the strongest components to business ownership in a perfect or at least ideal business model is that you're creating a residual income. I've been in business models where you sell something one time, you get paid one time, and then you got to go out and you got to sell it all over again to somebody else to get paid again. And you're always starting at zero. Residual income allows you to build on each previous month's income for everything you directly do. And you're in control 100% of your direct referrals. So if you want to go out and refer 40 people, it's on you to go out and refer 40 people, but you are empowered to do that. In addition, we offer leverage in this component. So we pay you 8%, just 2% less than your direct referrals for all of your network referrals. What does that allow? It allows you to leverage a team. You're going to show other people how they can benefit from the technology and how they can build a passive residual income stream. And in doing so, they're earning 10% off of all of their direct referrals, and you're earning that 8% override. A very powerful model. And everybody gets access to this the moment they become an affiliate. So there's not like there's some volume you have to hit or some rank you have to hit. This is pure affiliate marketing. In addition, we understand how important leverage is. And I will tell you right now, leverage is probably the most important element of any business model. In fact, I don't know of a single corporation that exists today that does not leverage the efforts of other individuals. And if you have one, go on ahead and post it in the chat, because I cannot think of a single one. And that's why big businesses leverage employees, guys. So you can have additional leverage. We do a direct referral bonus milestone. If you refer directly, these are direct referrals, 10, 20, 30, or 40 people direct, you'll unlock a 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th level where you'll earn an additional override of 1%. So again, the sky's the limit on what you can earn on here. I always like to pull this up because I'm a visual learner. This is you. You are the affiliate. You go over to affiliate.elify.com to enroll, and it's a 3-question sign up. Once you do, you have your links, you start getting out and promoting and having the conversation, and you earn 10% off of all of those direct referrals. If you invite them into the community and they understand and they join the opportunity and start referring, or if they're a customer and just by sharing and using Shuffle, expose others and they sign up, they become your network referrals. You're earning 8% on all of those from 2 to 6 degrees of separation. And then if you directly refer 10, 20, 30, or 40, you'll get 7, 8, 9, and 10 at 1%. As simple as that, everybody. We don't have to worry about all of this other, hocus pocus type of stuff. If somebody comes in through your link because you shared it to them, you start earning. So that's my quick spiel on the affiliate program. In the last few minutes here, if there are any questions regarding the affiliate program, please let us know. Otherwise, Guy, I'm going to pass it over to you to close us down for the Friday with the Founders.
Awesome. And I know Ann just jumped and she was talking about podcasts, trying to find some of those different types of things. An idea that came about that we had a conversation. We've had multiple conversations over these last couple of weeks, and a good route to potentially find customers, clients, people who'd also like to participate in the Elify community, and knowing that we have an affiliate program that talks about passive and residual income, is looking for individuals who represent, train, coach on passive income, and try to make some type of connection. Reach out to them, because you can also provide them here a platform where they're talking about it, they're training on it. Here's an additional stream of income that can be brought to them. We've had people talk about non-paid sponsorships. I would love to come on to your podcast, give you a non-paid sponsorship. So I'm not going to pay you to come on, but I'm going to give you a sponsorship where we're going to give you an invite code to this podcast. Or at the end, here's my call to action. And that podcaster may have created a Shuffle account throughout Elify and use their invite link. They're actually going to get paid when people from their shows come on and participate in what they're training on these passive residual income opportunities. So just an idea to throw out there. To wrap this up, we hope everyone has a great weekend. Will Skill Refill. You will see us live 10 a.m. Mountain Time for our sprint planning. We always encourage everyone to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're just hoping, wishing, and dreaming. So make sure you have a plan set for your action items, your money generating, revenue generating activities throughout the week that are wins for you. So hopefully we can come back on Friday and have another testimonial or wins throughout the week, and would be encouraged if each and every one of you had some type of win so we can celebrate you within the community. Tuesday, we'll have our Tech Tuesday at 2 training. That's 2 Central. Kathy will be on. What we have also talked about is having you as our partners potentially reaching out to you and say, hey, would you be willing to do a training? Mike, I know you're probably going to get an outreach. Say, hey, could you do a training within the Elify community on one of these days, on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and participate in on that? We would encourage people to invite your own people to come to those types of trainings. But if somebody were happen to find it as posted as an event on Facebook, and they come in without a link, we're going to encourage them to sign up direct to the person that's going to be doing the training. So Mike, from that aspect, we would encourage people to invite, as well as anyone who comes in generically and wants to get signed up. It would be a direct referral of yours. Then we get into our Thursday mastermind. As I mentioned, ER and I are sharing those back and forth. There's a potential that he may have to do it next Thursday. I might be virtual. I am heading to a wedding and we fly out next Thursday, so might not be available for that from my standpoint, but encourage people to come to that. That will be 10 a.m. again, Mountain Standard Time on Thursday, and then we'll be back here. I'll be virtual, but I will be on for our Friday with the Founders. So we enjoy having the opportunity to speak with you, hopefully not at you, every Friday or all of these lives. And hopefully you're pulling something from it, gives you an idea to maybe trial and error. That was one thing we talked yesterday. Trial it, get it out there, adjust, see what can work better. It's a great platform to be able to do a lot of trial and error. But with that, from ER, myself, everyone within the community, have a great weekend, and we will see you next Monday. Take care.
Bye, everybody.